Okay, welcome everyone. We're very happy, very excited to have Idil with us, who is calling from Istanbul in Turkey today. So, I met Idil actually during Miami Art Basel last year, December in Miami, and I saw her artwork in an NFT art show, and definitely being impressed by her artwork skill and also her passion. She is a full-time digital artist and made a successful career in the NFT, has shown artwork in United States, Europe, and also in a lot of cities in Asia. So she has done a lot of cool stuff. I even don't know yet, and I want to learn today as well. So welcome, Edie, and do you want to introduce yourself to our audience today?
Yes, hi everyone. Thank you so much for coming here and thank you so much for inviting me. I'm Idil. I'm from Turkey. I'm an architect slash artist. I don't practice architecture. I graduated from architecture school in 2020. Um, Let me start a little bit previous from that, like my story as an artist, I think. So I was into art ever since I was a kid, probably like most of us here. And I was like using charcoals, acrylics, like doing some canvas, all like traditional mediums, all very amateur, just on my own. And I wanted to be an architect also ever since I was a kid. And then I got into architecture school where I learned like design and 3D softwares like Photoshop or like Rhinoceros, like a 3D software we were using there a little bit more. And I noticed that I can like use these softwares to make art. That's how I got introduced to digital art, like making digital art as a medium for myself. I also noticed that I didn't like architecture that much, like the physics and everything with architecture. Like I loved design. I loved like creating concepts and working on like rendering and everything. So I kind of like switched my professional career to be a concept artist. So after graduation, I started working in an artist studio where we, as a CGI artist, basically. And that was in 2020. And then I worked there for 2 years. And in March 2021, I got introduced to NFTs. And since like almost 3 years now, I'm like involved with the NFT community and making artworks there.
Yeah, that's actually you have very diverse background, I would say, and but apparently your love for art, creating art, is always there. And I have like I'm really curious why you, because you said you're being attracted to NFT almost 3 years ago. Why NFT attracts you, and why are you interested in doing NFT art rather than other traditional mediums?
So I said, when I was doing art, like during my like earlier years, I never did anything professional with them. Like I never tried to sell them, or I never like tried to monetize my art back then, other than my like daytime job. I'm talking about like my personal work. So in March 2021, that was during like the first NFT boom, right? Like it was all of these people were coming in the NFTs after Beeple's 60 something $1 million sale. So it was like this huge boom. And I had no idea what it was back then. Like I literally had no idea of the technology or the like Ethereum or any like crypto or whatever. So one of my friends shared something on Instagram, and my like artist Instagram was very new back then also. Like it was just a small like personal account that I shared my art just for my like friends and family. It was like 400 people just, like randomly following me, and I was being all goofy there kind of thing. And then my friend shared this NFT related story on Instagram saying that he sold something for this amount of money. And I was like, what is this? Like how did you sell this? Like what happened? And then he was also very new. So like neither of us had any idea what was actually happening. So he kind of guided me through the steps that he followed, like opening up MetaMask and like minting and everything. And that's pretty much how I started. Like I just wanted to give it a shot kind of thing because he kind of pushed me to do it. He kind of like encouraged me, but I began while I had literally no idea what I was doing. So back then, I would say I was lucky to start back then because it was when like the collector base and like the investments and everything was much more hyped, right? Because it was the first like NFT boom, and we still don't know like if it will ever be like that. But I think that led me to be where I am today, a little bit more like easier, let me say. Of course, like there are like dependents, like connecting with the right people and stuff like that. But I opened up my Twitter because my friend told me, which I'm going to tell everyone right now, that everyone goes through Twitter X, that you have to like make connections there and like talk with people there and like pretty much market your art there. And I did that, and then like 2 days later, I minted my first artwork. It got sold, and I was like, you know, what happened now? Like, this actually happened. You know, it's a scam. I couldn't believe what happened. And then I like learned more and more and more, and then we taught each other with my friends, and yeah, that's basically it.
Wow, that's a really long and exciting journey, and I'm very glad to hear like you in the very beginning, you also don't know what's happening. Like you have no idea
Yeah.
what are you doing. So what did you say? What was the biggest challenge at that time, and how do you handle it?
So back then, since like I said, no one did know anything back then. I think the biggest challenge still is maybe is to connect with the right people, especially for me because I'm not from US, and like everything happens in US, like all of the in real life events and everything. So you have to connect with the right people. I think like I would say this is the same in traditional art world as well, right? Like you have to make connections with the right galleries, the right people. So that's hence like I have to like travel a lot throughout the year. Like it's money wise, it's not pretty for me because I have to like go to US, which is like 10 hours from here. But that's like kind of how you make connections, and you also have to make like a lot of you have to spend a lot of time on social media because um, with NFTs, like you're your own like marketeer, you're your own manager, your own like you know, accountant, whatever. Like you have to do everything yourself, so that takes a lot more time and effort to learn that, to have to like organize all of those things and be successful on each of those steps, I would say.
Yeah, oh, that's great, amazing. And I actually already have like two more following questions regarding what you have mentioned, because you said like it's very important for people to connect with the right community in the NFT artwork. And you said in the very beginning, right? Like most investors, collectors, all things are happening actually in the US. But you're in Istanbul, you're in Turkey. And what did drive you, come here to navigate and like more practically, like what kind of event did you go? Which city did you go? Because US is also very big.
Yeah, so there, like as you know, there are events happening in US like every year. So NFT New York is happening in April 3rd this year, and I'm not still, like I said, trying to decide whether I should go or not, because when you go there, when you meet with those people that you know online in real life, that's such a different experience. By the way, like it's such a fun experience, and I will also talk about the positive things that the NFT scene brought to me. Except for the monetary value, it's the people that I met. Not only because they're like network or connections, but I actually met some of my like personal idols, artists, and some amazing people. So yeah, that's just like the biggest plus for me is that, I would say. And like going to these events and like talking and like connecting with those people are just like amazing, that I would never imagine for myself, because now, like, you know, I met with artists and those like incredible people all around the world, which is so insane to me, you know. Yeah.
How those connections actually help you to build your art career? Could you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, so what happened is, I'll just like example from myself. Everything I'm telling here, by the way, is just like my own experience. Like everyone has had a different experience with the NFT scene. It's really about like how much effort you give into it, how dedicated you are. Um, like also with like very other variables, of course, like where you're located or like whatever. But yeah. Um, what was it? Oh yeah, the community. Yeah. So like I said, when the first time that I begin being involved with the NFT scene, we had to like you have to kind of like build your own community, right? To support you, to like share your art on social media and stuff like that. So that's what I did when I first started. Like I was engaging with people a lot. Let me be more like specific here. For example, what I was doing is to find collectors, by the way. What I was doing was going on a marketplace and then looking for art that are like similar to mine, and then looking for the collectors that collected that artwork. So like technically he or like they could be interested in my artwork as well. So what you're trying to do is to engage enough with that person that he would like potentially see your artwork and then maybe want to like connect with you. And that's like how it happened really. And the community is just like it happens when you just like naturally engage with other artists that you love their art. You know, it just happens because like on Twitter you just like see all of these incredible art on your timeline, and then you support them, and in return like they support you, and that's how you like lift each other up. And that's how it usually goes. And like rather than it's just like being a community building, like I said, it's just I learned a lot from my friends that I made in the past like 3 years in terms of like technical stuff. I'm not talking about NFTs here, like in terms of art and like anything really. And it's like that aspect is just great. It's just amazing.
Cool. And you mentioned uh Twitter, social media a lot, and it's also amazing for you. You meant like, before like 3 years ago, you just have a private account, right? On Instagram, probably not so many followers. But
Yeah.
now you have I think I checked with your Twitter followers, there are over like 30K, and with Instagram it's also almost the same number. How did you make that happen? I think many artists here today have the same question.
So that's not really. I would not say that that's particularly related with NFTs because
Mm.
I think like it's about playing with the Twitter algorithm a little bit. Like you have to know which posts do the best in Twitter. Like I wouldn't say all of those like 30K followers are necessarily involved with NFTs, which are not. Like probably half of them, more than half of them aren't like involved with NFTs. They're just following because it's like, you know, I'm sharing art, like retweeting art and stuff like that. So what I do is like I constantly, like every day you have to tweet. Like that's just, I'm talking about like just the social media algorithm that that worked for me right now. You have to like make posts every day, one post with a picture every day, and you have to do this constantly enough that Twitter algorithm loves you. But since Elon Musk loves to change the Twitter algorithm every week, that this may not like work in a month, for example. Like for example, my follower count is just stuck for some time right now. But yeah, the follower count doesn't really matter that much in the NFT scene, but it's more about like the I can't find the word, so I'm gonna say quality, but it's not quality. The quality of people following you, right? Like the relevance of people following you. So it's like quality over quantity. I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, if I ask you to give one suggestion, right, for many artists here today who just start probably building their Twitter account or their Instagram account just have thousands of followers, what do you suggest them to do? as the first step?
So what I did when I first opened my Twitter account, which was also in like 2021, I made this post that I shared 4 of my artworks, and then I said it was basically a post that was like an introduction, like, hey, I'm Idil, I'm from Turkey, I do this kind of like 3D stuff. Nice to meet you. This kind of a post, and then after you make that post, you kind of like engage with the community, and that engaging with the community has to happen every day. By the way, like especially if you're starting now, like for us as well, even though we are like in the space, we have to like everyone has to stay relevant at some point, which is the exhausting part. You kind of have to like engage with everyone every day, but in return, like if it's cool art, like when I see cool art, I'm just, "Oh, this is amazing," and then I retweet it, and then everyone does the same thing, which is the great part of like uplifting each other, because otherwise no one can do anything basically. So yeah, just like if you're starting now, just make a post, like share your art, tell them about yourself, where are you from, what do you do, for how long you're doing this, basically, and then just engage with like some sorry accounts that are like relevant, and start with for example, I don't know if I can share some like Twitter links here, but you can just go to my profile. I'm saying this because it will be shared here anyway, and then just see on my profile people there, and then go from other people, from those people, and then just find that network basically. That's like how I did it. Anyway, yeah.
That's cool. And you even you say like no one can do everything, like, but I feel like you do everything like already. Like you post like
I'm
every
trying my
day.
best. I can't, but I'm just trying my best.
It's like a crazy. That's so how do you manage your time? How do you be able to do like creation
I
and
can't.
also marketing?
I'm the worst person with like timing and like managing my time. So yeah, like I don't know. It takes a lot of time, and it's just like it ruins your attention span. And I'm just like having so much like trouble with like focusing on my work right now. I usually like after my Twitter time, I have to like take my phone away, somewhere else to not look at it, and I just focus on my work. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to like get anything done. But yeah, like in I don't know. In between those times, you have to like really constantly be engaging, especially if you're like just now starting. Like back then, I would literally like wake up at 4 a.m. to check my Twitter, to like build that connection and stuff like that. But maybe that was extreme. I don't know. But maybe just me being like anxious to follow up on everything. But it's pretty much using effective social media.
That's so cool. It's definitely reminds me of the first year when I started my business. It's literally the same thing. Like I went to sleep like very late, like 1 a.m. and woke up like 6 a.m. Just continue doing it.
Yeah.
Love it. So we do actually have a very technical question from our audience today, is because many of them just launched their first NFT project, and they don't know like how to price their work. So they want to ask you, do you have any suggestions on pricing, and how do you decide your price for your NFT work?
So I would say I feel like the audience here are already like selling their artworks with like galleries, or like already have a base price range. So what you can do is you can take that as a base and then convert it to ETH, and then price it like that, and then start at that point. You can, however, like check the market. That's what I would do. That's what I did back then. That's how much are the beginners are selling their artwork for. For example, just go to a marketplace. It can be Foundation, because I started with the marketplace Foundation, and I think it's a great place to start selling your art. And you can see the like some similar artworks that are like similar to yours, and just like kind of take that as a reference, and start from somewhere. I think it's important to not oversell or undersell your artwork. If you're just beginning new, I think the collectors in the space, since they won't be knowing you, it will be important to them that your artworks aren't like super expensive just initially, and then you kind of like make 1 or 2 sales, and then you kind of start gaining that momentum, and after that you can slowly like raise your prices. That's like, yeah, just yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's also yeah, what we noticed. Many artists like they really put like reasonable price on their NFT and try to build momentum rather than just put a very like insane like high price there and no one being able to buy it. But we also know NFT art market is very different from traditional art market, is because most people pay with cryptocurrency. So it becomes very volatile, which is because cryptocurrency, like last year, we have a very bad bear market, and this year the good thing is the Bitcoin raised crazily, like this in the past few months. So what do you think? As an artist, how do we cope with what's all those craziness happening in cryptocurrency?
So this is an ongoing debate right now, actually, that whether artists should take 1 ETH as 1 ETH or 1 ETH equals to its current USD price. And I'm one of the ones that I believe that it should be considered its USD price, because, for example, like 3 weeks ago, if I put an artwork on sale for 1 ETH, it would be like, what, 3K? Not even 2K, like 2K something. And right now it's like almost 4K. So that's like $1,000 price difference in like 3 weeks, and that's volatility that you were mentioning. So I think in like not every time, but when you see a drastic change in the market, and if it holds up for a while, for example, it's like it still didn't drop that much back to what it was 1 month ago, then it would make sense to me that if you adjust your prices so that the collectors are more inclined to collect your artwork. But that's, like everything else, is just my like personal like opinion on the subject. Some collectors with like infinite amount of like Ethereum, they believe that like collectors, like the artists should just price everything in ETH, and then everyone should just arrange themselves accordingly. But I think it makes sense that if we like change our prices, like either increase it or lower it in the drastic changes in the market, I think.
Cool. So your practice is more just the pegging to the flat coin, which is US dollar, which is a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so can I dig deeper there? Like, what's your consideration? Is that because most of your collector probably they're more like true collector rather than crypto investor? So what's your top 3 consideration for taking this strategy?
So I like I said, this was an ongoing conversation, like I think last week when this like bull market release started, the prices went up a lot more, and most of the collectors that I saw on the timeline were saying that it makes much more sense for them if we kind of like take USD price into consideration, because not all of them always hold their Ethereum, but most of them like shift from USD to another to Ethereum would mean they have to buy Ethereum at a higher price. So that's just what most collectors that I saw were like more inclined to do. So I think for artists, if they are the ones who are going to collect our artworks, it makes more sense that we should just adjust our prices. And like when I think about it, it makes more sense as well, right? Like 1 week ago, your artwork was worth like 1K. Now it's worth like 2K. Why is that? That's just, I don't know. I mean,
yes.
you don't have to change your prices in any small market change, by the way. I'm only talking about like these big drastic shifts in the market. and that's only for you to like keep selling your artwork, because if it gets like more and more expensive every week, then less and less amount of collectors are able to afford it. That's
Mm.
just the logic.
Yeah, so I actually heard a lot of folks in the industry mention like probably this year will be a bull market, and because all the cryptocurrencies, the prices raise up, and seems like regulation begin to a little bit settle down in the U.S. market as well. What do you think from an artist perspective? Do you think like artists here, like in this webinar today, should invest a bit more time and also their resources in the market, or just holding back to watch the market evolves? What do you think?
I think it's never a bad time to get started in all of these, because like whether it's a bull market or a bear market or like in between all of those stages, you have to like begin somewhere to build your audience, even if it's not for NFTs. Like just right now, like the social media, it's just like everything for every business, even for like traditional artwork. I feel like if you want to like get hired or whatever, the first thing they see is your like, if you're like an effective I don't want to say influencer, but a person that uses social media effectively. And if you have a community, if you have an audience there. So I think it's never a bad time to just start, at least with a Twitter profile. And I feel like I'm no expert in this like crypto bull or bear thingies, by the way, not at all. But from my experience, what I saw was it's first the crypto coins will start with those, and then after a while, after people make enough money with like trading and like other coins and stuff like that, they go back to NFTs, and that's when we see the NFT bull market begins. So personally, I think it's going to be something similar. Right now, we're having the crypto bull market, and NFTs are still super low. By the way, like the art market in NFTs are still bleeding, but I think sorry, in a few months it will go up if the crypto market holds up well. So
Yeah, finger crossed. So, to all the audience, it's more like our person, like the chat. We're not investors. We're not like those experts for the cryptocurrency. But it's a very interesting to hear from you as an artist. Your observation and your decision based on the market trend. Um, and I do want to shift a little bit more practical about selling the NFT. What kind of the platform do you use? What do you think about them?
the marketplaces, you
Yeah, the
mean?
marketplaces. Yeah.
Yeah. So I use for my one-of-ones, I use Super Air mostly, but currently right now there are platforms that allows you to have your own custom contract and have your own like page to mint it. So it's not really a marketplace, but you're in control of your own contract, and you make your sales from this like private like website page. Let me say it's Manifold and Transient Labs are the ones that I had experience with. I think, yeah, for my editions, I used for my one-of-ones as well. Actually, I use Manifold. You can just check their Twitter account if you're not accustomed to it. And Transient Labs is also providing this service. That means that, for example, if you were to mint your NFT on Super Rare or Foundation or any other platform, that means that you're minting it on their contract, and you don't know what will happen to that contract. Like, it's not that it's risky, but it's always good that you have the ownership of the contract that you are minting your NFTs to. So Manifold and Transient Labs are currently allowing you to have that ownership. So I feel like most of the NFT community is shifting to that approach right now, which includes me as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you mentioned
Yeah.
about your own contract, and so could you mention a little bit more, like how do you select that platform, and why do you think it's better approach? And as a beginner, as our audience are today, So what do you suggest? Do you suggest they look into that, or what do you think?
I think to begin with, I think it's just like building a community and engaging, and then just like searching for like all of these. Just get into it a little bit, and then just like you know, like see for it yourself a little bit, because like I think currently it's maybe a little bit too complicated, like talking about these stuff like manifold and transient labs and stuff like that. But if I were to start right now, I would start with minting on foundation probably, because there is one advantage of those marketplaces provide you is that people going on that marketplace website, they can see on the main page or in the activity page, I don't know if they still have it, that like the recent artworks minted on that platform. So that's like a marketing plus for you, because the other websites that I just mentioned, they're private links that leads everyone to just click on it to get your artwork. But with those marketplaces, you have the audience of that website that's just this built community, so you have more chance of being seen, if that makes sense.
Great, wonderful. So I do also like want to shift the topic here again, which is a little bit more about your creating process, because we discussed about that actually during our conversation in Miami, and about your, I think many of our audience today, some already asking in the chat, they're curious about your creation process. Do you leverage AI in your creation process as well? Like, yeah, could you share with us?
Yes, so I do use 3ds Max to create my scenes, and then I render with current renderer, and then I like make adjustments and edits and photo bash and like paint overs on Photoshop. So that's my main process. I don't use AI. I just recently, we were talking about this every day, by the way, because I have like I come across so many artists that are using AI. Some of them are doing incredible things, by the way. I'm just not talking about just Midjourney prompts, but they are using it so creatively. And I think it's a fact that AI is now a part of our world, and we have to like kind of know how to get advantage of it. Like, it doesn't mean that we have to just create it with some prompt, which I don't like, because I do like the process that I'm when I'm working on my artworks. I think it's the same with like traditional artists and like any digital artist right now, that you just enjoy the process, and AI itself doesn't give the same satisfaction. But I like in my Photoshop stage, I for example use some Creative Commons images, some like cutouts for like debris or like some dirt and stuff like that. And with AI, I did just recently use Midjourney to create some debris that I was going to put on the ground. Like, I would cut it from a Creative Commons picture, like a stock image, but instead I use AI for that. Like, for stuff like these, I think it's, yeah, you know, why not? But to use it more broadly, I don't feel comfortable with it just yet for myself. But yeah, you'll see like a lot of artists doing some amazing stuff with AI in the NFT scene.
It's kind of, I can sense you are on the fence actually about, because you are always passionate about new tech, but you also have this kind of more like conservative artists, like, you enjoy create without any assistant with their AI. But what's your suggestions to the artists listening to you today? Do you think they should leverage AI for part of their creation, like, or they should just fully embrace it, or just don't touch it? What do you think?
I think it's not about like they should do it or shouldn't do it kind of thing, but I think it's just accepting the fact that it's a part of our lives right now, and there will be so much more like artists, like new artists coming up that are just using AI, which like their process will be much more quicker than us. Their like outputs may be much more perfect than us, but I think it's just a possibility for us right now that if we want to, we can include it in our workflow that may help us just like accomplishing better results or quicker results by like leveraging it. It's if someone doesn't want to use it, I don't think like anyone has to necessarily use it. But for example, in 2 years, let's say, if you're working in the industry as a concept artist or as like whatever artist basically, and you're not using AI, I feel like you may be a little bit too slow because in 2 years, probably most of the world will be using AI, and I can't even imagine how fast it will be or how perfect it will be by then. So I think it's just it may be a good idea that to get accustomed with AI slowly right now. That's what I'm trying to do. Not that I'm like having the most amazing time with it, but I think it's just smart to just learn it a little bit because it will only get faster and better from now on.
So, but it is intimidating. Like, I think all the new tech is a little bit scary, right? Because it's so new and it's changed the way we are doing the things before. And as most of our audience today are traditional artists, so they do have this kind of concern about adopting AI or launching NFT. And one concern is whether it's going to conflict with their gallery representation. Where like, if I'm doing NFT, I might just, cut my way to doing anything awesome with like those good, nice, like decent galleries. So what's your opinion there?
I think it really depends on what gallery. Like, I think every gallery has their like different approach on this. I feel like there must be some galleries that really hate NFTs, but I do think that, by the way, that's because they don't really know what's possible and what's happening with the NFTs. NFTs has such a bad name right now out there, which I was aware of this ever since I began doing it. That's because people usually think that it's just like some ugly drawn profile pictures or like a scam or something like that, but it's not. It's like so much more, really. You just have to like take some time to really look into the technology and what's possible with it. Like for example, there is something called like dynamic NFTs that that basically you can put in variables there. It can be like literally anything. It can be like the daytime, the location, the whatever, a variable, and that would like make your NFT change. Like one of my friends, Shavon, did something amazing, that she made this 3D artwork of herself, and that's the dynamic NFT, and then she minted it last year, and that artwork, that herself in that artwork is getting aged every year with her age. So when she dies, that artwork will also be like that kind of thing, like that's like some crazy cool stuff that people are doing with NFTs, like generative and stuff like that. So it's just so much more than profile pictures. And I'm sorry, I'm getting out of the context here with the galleries thing, but I do think that like, I think it's important to like, if you're already working with a gallery, just communicate with them and ask your report about NFTs to them. But for example, Refik Anadol is an incredibly successful artist in the traditional world, working with a lot of galleries worldwide, like the best galleries in the world, and he's also a very successful NFT artist. So it really depends on what gallery you're working with. There is also a, like, in my opinion, at some point they would all have to like adapt themselves to all these like digitalization and AI and NFTs and everything as well, because like I said, this technology is only going faster and better every day. But for now, I think yeah, it makes sense just to communicate with them and maybe like guide them, encourage them to look into it as well.
Did NFT actually bring you opportunities to show in some galleries you never, if you're not doing that, it probably did not get a chance to? Like, did the NFT bring you a new audience? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Like all of those shows that I mentioned, they were either directly related to NFTs, or they were just like opportunities that I from people that I got known from NFTs. So either like galleries or like some digital screens, some billboards whatever, like all of those things happening really like that often in the NFT space, because we accept like the digital world, the digital medium. So there are always like these cool venues with like all those digital art screens and everything. Which, by the way, I want to mention here, because I know that most people here are traditional artists using like traditional mediums, and there is always this question, like if you're a traditional artist using brushes and canvases, how can they like start doing NFTs? I know so many people who are just like literally drawing on a pen, on a paper with a pen, and just taking a quality picture of it and then minting it. And it also brings a great plus, in my opinion, to the collector of that artwork, that you can actually send the physical artwork to the collector. So there are a lot of artists doing that, and like some of them are super successful. I'm gonna again write a name here that is one of the most amazing artists that I know from the space. This is her name. She's doing these like incredible huge canvases, all like oil paint. It's incredible, and she sells them. They're like high quality pictures. I don't know how she captures those, but you can just check it online, I guess. There are like ways to make her physical artwork digital professionally, and then she sells those. And I don't know what she does with the original artwork afterwards, but I guess like she can just send it to the collector if she wants to. So yeah.
I think that totally makes sense, because I feel like in the traditional, because I handle a lot of traditional art projects as well, which we do license artwork out, and you do actually need a little bit of skill and software to convert those into very high quality digital file. You can see the difference. It's not just some picture taken by iPhone or something like that. I'm so glad you shared that with us as well. And so we also have a question from the audience is, what's your most memorable or hard experience as an NFT artist?
That's a hard question. I would say like not one moment, but overall the hardest moments that we have as the whole like artists in the space is when, for example, the market goes down, right? Like not the crypto prices, but when the art sales get slower. And we, of course, we experienced it like last year when it was bear market a lot, you know, like everything goes slower, and especially if you're doing this full time, like it can really hurt. And at those points, it's super important to have that community, like the friends that you made along the way, and then we like keep motivating each other, and like, you know, just you can just try to them in the group chat and stuff like that. So that's really like community, I would say, is everything in this case. And those moments where you get a little bit depressed because of the market, and thinking that either you're not good enough or you will never make a sale ever again. Like we all have those moments, everyone has those moments, and yeah, it's just like your friends kind of pull you back up, kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally hear you. I think it's happened to us as well, right? As entrepreneurs in the field. Yeah, definitely. But how do you cope with that? How do you, because I always see you like being passionate, and you are doing so many cool stuff, and you're traveling a lot. So how do you keep kind of this energy going on and always, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's just like friends motivating each other. Like I have like so many times I just had a mental breakdown, and I'm like, you know, about to, you know, give up and stuff like that. But then you know, people like push you forward, and then you know that like when you don't make a sale, it's not really because your art sucks or anything like that, but it's just the collectors or the investors, they have to like arrange their budgets and everything as well. And it's all about hype, by the way. Like unfortunately, I want to say here, but it's not really the first important thing is that how you market yourself. That's the most important thing. And I feel like that's like that with everything in the world right now. How you like market yourself, how you present your product, not about NFTs in this case. But the trends change a lot. Like, for example, the year that I entered NFTs, it was this 3D art boom. And then since a year now, it's like this generative art hype. So 3D art is making less sales and stuff like that. You just have to, like, just know that it's not about your art personally. And then you just have to keep going. You just have to do what you enjoy doing anyway. Like, you would be doing art if it wasn't for this technology either way. So you just have to find some other incomes, keep working with your galleries, keep selling prints, whatever you're doing. And yeah, just like, do your best to endure those times, and then the market gets better one day, hopefully.
Wonderful. I love it. It's definitely very sincere and very good suggestions because being artist is not easy, and we totally get that. And now I think it's also, after this such great advice, very personal experience sharing, I think it's time for us to open the floor for folks to ask more questions related to them. So while we're waiting for other questions, we have a question here. Have you ever done any artist residency? And if so, do you have any advice for application?
I haven't, and I would love if someone from the audience have did this and share their experiences, because I do want to do this as well, but I never actually like applied to anything. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we do actually know some residency programs for digital artists if you're interested in that, some museums in the Bay Area. And so you do need to make a lot of network as well. That's usually from my suggestion. And because if you just submit like application like with thousands of other people, the success rate is not might not that be that great. Yeah, so we do see a random question here. Does anyone know any YouTubers? Okay. So Christine has a question, but I'm not sure I fully understand that. Christine, could you explain further in the chat?
I think I already explained that. I think they were asking the Manifold and Transit Labs names, I think.
Oh, yeah. Also there is question about what's that before the three. Oh, it's okay. It's about like what you talked before that. Yeah. So it's while we're waiting, probably there are more folks asking questions. I want to ask you, what's your final advice for the artists being here, right? Who have interest in NFT and in new technology such as AI. What's your suggestion, your advice to them?
It's not going to be something completely different that I already said before, but I think it's the most important thing is to keep an open mind, because like I said, I know that NFTs had such awful name like in the traditional artwork, and I get that because when you're looking at it from the outside, it looks like it's all like these ugly like JPEGs and people are trading them and stuff like that. But I think it's really important to take a deeper look and look at what people are doing with the technology and what's possible for yourself as well. Like, it doesn't really matter which medium you're using. Just like research the technology a little bit, what's possible with it. Start building your own community. If like just now, like do it today. Like you got to start somewhere, and it's important. Even if you're not going to do anything with NFTs, I think like having a digital like a social media right now for every artist is important, I feel like, at least. And yeah, just like start building your own community if you really want to do something with the NFTs, because the community is really everything.
Yeah, I love that. And we just have a new question about community. I knew it is going to happen. Do you think Discord is a good place to build a community?
Yes, I suck at using Discord. I can't do it, but there are a lot of artists and a lot of projects using Discord. So sorry. Using Discord to build that community, but maybe not from the scratch. I think Discord is a good place when you have a base community and then you want to like keep them updated and just like keep sharing stuff with them, kind of thing. Because for you to use Discord for a community, you have to have another platform to share that Discord link with. So I think starting with Twitter makes more sense in the first place, and then maybe you can take people to your Discord server to share updates and stuff like that.
That's wonderful suggestion. And we so Kaz actually have a follow-up question is about, okay, you mentioned to start with Twitter first. Yeah, we agree. Actually, social media actually is a little bit easier to master and than Discord. Discord is definitely more difficult. And Imari also have a question. She asked you whether you can talk slower about your creating process.
Yes. So what I do is I use 3ds Max. 3ds Max is a 3D software which I use to build my scenes, and then I render it with Corona Renderer. Let me just type in here all of the software names. 3ds Max, Corona Renderer is what I use to render them with, and then I use Photoshop to do overpaint and editings and like paint over basically, and that's my like usual workflow. Yes, 3ds Max is very similar to Maya. I don't know the main differences because I haven't used Maya, but I know that the two softwares are really similar. Like you can do whatever you do with Maya mostly with 3ds Max as well.
Wonderful. So we have several few minutes. Edie, I do want you to talk about the NFT Istanbul you created because it's so cool. Could you give us a little bit more information on that?
Yes. So before that, I want to briefly mention again, like there are NFT events happening all around the world, like every year. For example, we met with Patty this year in Miami. It wasn't really like Art Basel Miami isn't an NFT related event, but during that time there are so many NFT events, galleries making like displays, showcases, and stuff like that happening, and that happens every year. And it's similar in New York. Every year there's NFT New York. Every year there's this NFC Lisbon event, and artists are like going there. Artists, investors, collectors are going there and then meeting in real life, spending time with each other, and yeah, that's basically what it is. And I live in Turkey, and back in 2021 we were like, okay, like there is no NFT Istanbul now, and we have to make it happen, and we have to make it happen as an artist, like artist community, so that not this random guy who thinks NFTs are like making money wouldn't do it, because so that we can make artists like justice displaying their works and stuff like that. So as 4 people, we co-founded NFT Istanbul, and last November we actually did our first event during DevConnect. It was actually a very like a crypto event that isn't necessarily related with art, but we wanted to make this event. It was like this one-day gallery event that we displayed over 170 artworks of artists from all around the world, and we shared it with the like developers and crypto people that aren't really aware of what we were doing in the NFT scene, in that technology. So yeah, we aim to do like more events in Istanbul. It requires like a lot of time and funding, But I think it's exciting to, you know, just like introduce this community to everyone, you know, whether they're like involved in NFTs or interested in NFTs or not. It's just going to be this like cool event with like panels and with artworks displaying and stuff like that. So yeah.
Wonderful. We hope the conference will getting bigger and bigger, and who knows? Probably the next time we see each other will be in Istanbul during your event. So we do have a final question, which is asked: where do you find those events? Are they posted somewhere?
Not as far as I know. There should be necessarily at some place. Actually, one of my friends' idea was building a website to keep track of these events. I don't know. I just like I know that like NFT NYC, NFC Lisbon. I'm just typing you guys here because I just like know these events. I didn't like read them from somewhere. NFC Lisbon, NFT Korea is happening end of summer, I feel like. There is Art Basel in Miami. Los Angeles, I don't know if there is an event in Los Angeles. Like surely there are a lot of NFT events going all around the world all the time. These ones that I just typed are more like international and bigger ones, you know, with like this huge conference that is taking place like 3 days and stuff like that. In Los Angeles, for example, there are like galleries or like solo shows of NFT artists and stuff, but I don't know if there is like this annual Los Angeles event. I'm not sure. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah. So
NFT Paris is also.
yeah, LA used to have their Los Angeles NFT week, which is usually in March. Now they upgraded. They become bigger, called Out. I think it's called Out Leaguer or something like that. They become a brand. They become a company. They first start is really like NFT Istanbul, like you guys do, like just a bunch of lovers, crypto people, developers, but now they become a complete new company, which is amazing. Yeah, so just a follow-up of comment on that. So usually what we do is we just Google, use AI to search all those NFT work, and also all those NFT work events will happen with the cryptocurrency like thriving cities, which is in the US is New York, Austin, Miami, Denver, San Francisco, Los Angeles, sometimes Vegas as well. So that's kind of major cities in the US. In Asia, Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Asia market is much bigger market now, like more thriving market, because the regulation are also like Singapore is very, very supportive for. It's literally like the government say that we welcome, right, for the NFT artists, welcome like crypto business here. Dubai in the Middle East is also another like major hub now, become like crazy. Europe a little bit better than United States, but not as thriving as Central Middle East or Asia market. Europe, Paris, London, Lisbon, and Malta, which they have a special regulation over cryptocurrency. That's why. Okay, so thanks everyone, and I do encourage you to follow Idil's Twitter account, which we're going to share after in our feedback email as well. And thanks Idil for sharing so many interesting and story, your first-hand experience with us. I'm pretty sure everyone here learned a lot from you today. Thanks again, and I believe it's already evening for you, and good night, and enjoy the rest of your day, other guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye.
Thank
you.